Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This is actually a female subscriber for once. She's 24 years old, she's a vocalist in a metal band, and she wrote in to me because her bandmates, they're all guys, watch my channel and recommended me to her. And she wrote in because she's in a situation where she can't quite figure out what's going on. She's having a hard time attracting guys to be, it sounds like, to date long-term relationships because of obviously what she does for a living. She's a singer in a metal band. Obviously there are perceptions about her. Perceptions like she's probably hooking up with her bandmates, probably hooking up with a lot of people when she travels around, the type of guys she hooks up with, those types of things. And she's asking my advice on, what the situation is, why is it there's this perception, what she can do, all that. Essentially, she's having a hard time finding a decent boyfriend. And she wrote in and she wanted my opinion, so I'm going to give it to her. And she may not like what I have to say, but I'm going to be honest with her and very direct and blunt, as I always am. And hopefully can help her out. But it's going to show you guys, there are girls that really don't get it. And there's an example how I say don't ask for relationship advice, dating advice, pickup advice from women, because a lot don't get what they mostly respond to or don't get certain elements of certain things. No kidding. So, but you know what? She wrote in as a friend. She's a fan of the channel, and I appreciate that because, well, a lot of women hate my guts. So, I'm going to answer her question to help her out, and it's not meant to make fun of her or roast her or anything. I'm going to be honest with her, but this is something we can all learn from here. She says here, hi SSM. I would like to start by saying that I'm a 24-year-old female. I'm a vocalist for a metal band, and my male bandmates pushed me to email you about my situation. I'll try to keep it short and brief. Well, I think that's pretty cool. You're a metal singer. Metal has always been my favorite. And a shout out to your bandmates for recommending you to my channel. She says, I do not consider myself to be a strong, empowered feminist, as I don't sleep with every dude in town. Well, good for you for not being a strong and proud feminist. And good for you for not sleeping with every dude in town, if that is accurate. I don't know if the guys I've been dating are bad boys or not, as they don't stick around long enough for me to find out. Well, honey, if they're not sticking around for you to find out, then obviously they're not nice guys. Because nice guys would be calling you and texting you and certainly making it clear as day that they really like you and all that. But the ones that short-term dating, if you will, hookups and everything and then disappear, those are the bad boys. And I'll get back to why you attract the bad boys in a moment. The reasons I've been told a few times are because I hang around a bunch of guys all the time, referring to my bandmates. While my bandmates are all male, they are just that and nothing more. I've never hang out with the band member one-on-one. It's been us together, mostly doing band-related things. I guess I would consider it more of a professional relationship than a romantic or platonic one. Okay, it's all business. You like them, you have a good time with them, but you're not hanging out with them. And I agree, men and women can't be friends. She says, I've been told that guys and girls cannot be friends, and I do believe this because if the band were to break up, I would no longer hang out or talk to any of the band members. Ouch. I would imagine you get along with them enough that you could say hello every once in a while, but you don't need to be harsh. My bandmates have been talking about you, and in turn, you've earned yourself a female subscriber. In fact, I did not know that a lot of women behave this way, and I find it quite disgusting. I have to say I appreciate your work. You tell your viewers how it is, even if it hurts to hear. Well, I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to be very direct with you when I'm done this email. I understand your channel is mainly a men's channel, but I'd like to know why guys I meet think this way. Is it because they just want to hook up and I won't? Is it because they feel threatened by me having male acquaintances? Or is it because I'm not a relationship material, as they say? Keep up the good work. So, remember what you just said about you would like that I say things that people need to hear even if it hurts. So, here's the deal. So, I think it's cool that you're in a band and do metal. That was always my favorite. The problem is that when it comes to dating and relationships, you have to understand that, okay, you're 24 years old. I'm going to guess you're above average looks because no one's going to go to a concert hearing a girl sing and she's butt ugly. So you're 24, you're in your prime. I'm assuming above average looks, above average body type. I can picture like the green streak of hair you may have, or a streak of green or blue in your hair, looking punk, looking like a little baddie. Guys are going to naturally assume a few things. Number one, they're going to assume that your typical nice guy is going to assume that you would never give him the time of day. So the only type of guy that is going to approach you and probably get your number or have a drink after the show or something like that is going to be a guy that's probably in the bad boy category. Because the bad boys are much more confident / cocky and not going to care. So guys that you might want to actually date longer term or maybe have relationships with, they're likely not to approach you, when the band is taking a break between taking a break and having a beer or after the show. They're not going to approach you because they're going to think there's no way in hell she's going to give me the time of day. So therefore, only the bad boys are going to go for you. And the bad boys, all they're interested in is hooking up. As you said right out, you've had some short-term things, which obviously means hookups, end of story, goodbye. You never heard from them again. Also, typical guys are going to think that you're hooking up with your bandmates. Yes, your bandmates are accurate about that, because obviously that happens, okay? And there's nothing you can say or do that's going to get guys to not think that. Also, guys are going to think that you're probably hooking up with dudes all the time. They're probably picturing that you have shows here, shows there, and you got guys in the audience, there's drinking going on, and you're being charmed by the bad boys, Chad and Tyrone, and you're hooking up with dudes left and right. That could be completely false in your situation, but regardless, that's going to be the perception, okay? As myself, I'm 45, and I'm very comfortable talking to anybody, including beautiful women. Beautiful women do not intimidate me. I'm as relaxed and comfortable as if I'm talking to any of you guys here or anybody else. And I'm as natural, and I wouldn't give you the time of day. You, again, 24, girl's prime, and you can be damn good looking and cool and fun, but I wouldn't because, again, those perceptions. I'd have the confidence to talk to you because a lot of guys wouldn't, because they think you just wouldn't give them the time of day, which, let's be honest, happens, but I just wouldn't be interested. Because my perception would be hooking up with the fellow band members, hooking up with dudes when you travel a lot, and I would never see you as relationship material. Not that I'd be interested, because I wouldn't want my girl traveling about, up on stage, singing, drunk dudes hitting on her, the whole thing. It's just, I wouldn't be interested in that. Even though that, and it's not because of insecurity, I just don't need that shit in my life. So you're going to have a problem finding a type of guy that you're going to want to have a relationship with for all these different things. And the only guys you're going to get to, are going to be attracted to, like I said at the beginning, are the bad boys, because they don't give a shit, and you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you get hit on by those guys all the time. So if indeed you are looking for a relationship, the only way it's going to work, honestly, is if you find a guy that's a lot like you, well, if it was a band member. You may not have any attraction for your bandmates, and obviously don't mix business with pleasure, but unless you have somebody in the same lifestyle, I don't see it working in terms of getting serious, because at least in the same lifestyle, they kind of know what you're doing and all that. Or the only other way you're going to get a relationship is going to be if you stop being in a band. And you work very upfront and open with the guy you met, because the typical guy is going to get in a relationship with you, or at least date you long term, date you more than 1 week, is going to be obviously a more stable guy, more of a guy. And I wouldn't say nice guy, because we associate nice guys with weak pushover type of guys, but just guys that aren't Chad and Tyrone. A guy in the middle, a guy who has self-respect. He doesn't put you on the pedestal, doesn't kiss your butt. The type of guy trying to motivate my guys to be here. Guys, they aren't jackasses, they're not a-holes, but they're not weak bitches either. Those guys aren't going to be in a relationship with you either. And the only way you may get a guy like that is if you're no longer in the band, because I wouldn't date you if you're in a band. I may see you and think you're hot, and I'd hook up with you if that was what I wanted to do. But a relationship, no way. So you pretty much would have to stop being a singer in the band. And if obviously being in a band is something you're passionate about and you love, then, why throw that away? But understand, so long as you're in that band and you're up on stage singing and you're looking hot and you got dudes cheering and are drunk and are hitting on all that, by and large, guys aren't going to be interested in seeing you as relationship material because of perceptions, and they also don't need any BS or drama in their life. And I mean, I wouldn't recommend any of my guys to date a gal that sings in a band. No freaking way. No offense, but no freaking way. So you'd have to be out of the band. And at that point, then, you have to be very honest with the guys about your life, your lifestyle, people you hooked up with. But from my experience, the gals don't do that. They're not going to be honest. The guy gets involved with a girl, and then they find out down the road that she was a singer in the band and had relations with a lot of dudes. And even if that's not really true, but then again, you did say you had a couple guys, and there's definitely a different definition of a couple that you dated not too long and then you never heard from again. Obviously bad boys. So already the perception is somewhat accurate because you admitted you're hooking up with guys that definitely in the bad boy category. So you're in a tough situation. So my recommendation is that it's either going to be guys that are in a band, lifestyle like yours, or if you're done with being in a band and then you move on, and that's that. And you may meet a lot of guys, even if you're no longer in a band, they still want to be interested in you because concerns about your past, as the guys have a right to be. Because there are consequences to actions. I talk about that all the time. And a lot of the gals out there right now are freaking crazy. They have body counts that would just make people's mouths drop to the floor. Thanks to the feminist movement, thanks to social media and dating apps, and knucklehead guys giving them attention 24/7, 365. And Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0, as I like to say often. So even if you aren't like a lot of the gals nowadays, you're in a tough situation. So I definitely think it over. In a way, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. You could give up being in a band, and you could tell the guys about your past, and they're like, nope. Or you don't tell about your past, but then again, they can come back later on down the road. But no matter what you choose to do, the guys you're with deserve your honesty. Okay, don't be like these gals in these stories where they're ready to settle down, and it sounds like in a way you're kind of ready to settle down. What I always say about the gals in their mid-20s when they're ready to settle down, right? Right, guys? And they get involved with a gal, and then later on they find out what her past is really like. So you're going to have a tough time, I'm going to be honest with you. But so long as you're singing in a band, you're going to have a very hard time finding guys that you might actually want to see long-term, because the only guys that are going to go approach you are going to be the bad boys, because they don't give a shit. And it's going to be quick, just like you said. I just read it earlier that it didn't last very long. But the nice guys either going to be just... Some guys will be intimidated. Other guys are just like, I'm not going to waste my time. But in terms of relationship material, you singing in a band, it's just not going to happen. And like I said, I'm comfortable talking to beautiful women. Girls 20 years younger than me, smoking hot, in their prime. And you could be cool. You and I could be having a beer, having a good time talking, hanging out. But still, I wouldn't see you as a gal I would date or relationships with, because of just how I see reality, And so I wish you the best there, but I do some brainstorming. But anyhow, I do think it's cool you're in a band. I respect that you wrote in, because writing into my channel as a woman, that's obviously... You never know what you're going to get reaction from me. And I hope there's no ill will, but you asked for my honest opinion, even if it hurts, because you wrote that. So I hope it does help. So do some soul searching and see where things go. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let her know what you think. Would you guys, would you even approach her? Seriously, if you saw a pretty gal singing on stage, would you approach her or realize, nah, not for me? Or would you get in a relationship with a gal like this who sang in a band? I mean, be honest. She's writing in as a friend. She's asking for advice, so just definitely give it. Be nice, because she's being nice to me, so be nice to her. But give an honest opinion, because she needs to hear this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.